What the hell is going on, guys? So today I want to walk you guys through the amount of dividends that I received in April of 2018. So the amount that I received was around $296, and that's from a multitude of companies. You can see that the previous time I had gotten dividends in April time frame was $260. So that's an increase of about 10 to 15% or something like that from last year. Um, but as you can tell, looking at this graphic, this is probably on track with like the first and second month of every quarter to be, around the same, and then the third month of every quarter is generally speaking my big guy. But yeah, so around $296 this quarter or this month. It'll be approximately 290 or almost the same next month, but slightly up from what we got in 2017, which is around $260. And actually, looking at May, I made barely any money in May in 2017, so that's a big increase year over year for May. But we'll get into that a little bit next time. So the companies that paid me here in April are these companies that I've already highlighted in yellow. Yellow meaning that I've double checked the dividend coming through, and it matches with what I put in into the spreadsheet, of course. So Icon Enterprises, everyone knows Carl Icahn, so I don't really need to get into that. My Realty Income Corporation payment continues to go up. I actually purchased another 50 or so shares rather recently. So next month you should see here you see this $33.44. Next month this should go up by about $8 or so just based off the fact that I purchased some more shares. I think in the next coming months or so I'm gonna maybe not next couple months, but I think what I want to do is get to a dividend or a share per month of reinvested dividends. So I think Realty Income Corp right now is trading around $50 or so. So I think every month I want to get around $50 or so so that I can get an additional share of Realty Income Corp. That's just a small goal. I generally try to do that with all my investments. Starwood Property Trust around $30 there. Good enough for about a share in a little bit. Main Street Capital $16, good for about a third of 40% of a share. Union Pacific held this guy since about 2014 time frame. It's been steady, and the dividend slowly continues to rise. Stag Industrial, another monthly dividend payer. I believe when I first started investing in Stag Industrial, I was getting around like $10 or $11 per month. So the fact that this has increased by 30 to 40% is rather phenomenal in terms of. Actually, I feel like I was earning a lot less than that. Anyway, that's actually a good idea that I should probably check and see, since I started investing in some of these companies, what the incremental dividend has been since I first started to what it is today. So that rounds up my individual account, individual brokerage account, $100 and so of total invested money. And then comes in a lot of the big guys with respect to the real estate that I own, real estate stocks that I own, like Cyrus One and WP Carey is the large one for the month of April. WP Carey is a triple net lease company, somewhat similar to Realty Income Corporation. However, WP Carey also invests a little bit more in the UK and in Europe, so it's more of an international real estate rather than individual real estate in the United States. GE, I actually sold my GE and actually used that money to purchase some more Philip Morris, so we can get more into that a little bit later. But I think I was sitting on a capital loss of around 50% or so, and since Philip Morris dropped into the low 80s, I felt like the opportunity cost of Philip Morris and the future dividends of Philip Morris was a lot better. So anyway, that's that. Additional Icon Enterprises, I have it in both my IRA and my individual brokerage account. And then South 32, which is a spinoff of a BHP company. So I think it's like nickel and stuff like that. Some of like the lower margin mining stuff that BHP spun off. Anyway, different story for a different day. In my computer shares account, got around 16 or so dollars, so around $35 between Philip Morris and Altria Group, which is basically the same company. Altria Group, the only difference between the two is Altria Group sells Marlboro products in the U.S. and Philip Morris sells it outside the U.S. But Altria Group also has an extensive wine and cigar and AB InBev investment. So I think 10% of Altria Group owns about 10% of AB InBev. So that's something to keep in mind. Dr. Pepper Snapple. This has actually been a really good investment for me. I think I started investing in Dr. Pepper Snapple in the low 80s or so, and it's into like the 110, 120 range. So that's something to keep in mind. It's been a very good investment so far. So between my IRA and my computer shares account, it's around $180 or so, almost $190 or so dollars on top of the 110 coming from my individual brokerage account. Gets you to around the 290 or so range. Obviously didn't make any YouTube income this month because of the new monetization rules, which is perfectly fine with me. So that puts me at the 290 range, which should be the lower range or one of the lower months in the year of January in the year of 2018. And so that puts me on a forward forecast of around $5,200 or so. What I'm not including in this $5,200 is my personal savings account, which should get me around $100 or so in interest, because I have quite a few $1,000s in there. But what this also doesn't include is additional invested capital that I'll be putting in every single month or so. So the goal is to get this to around 56, 5,700 by the end of the year. So we will see how that ends up going. But I knew going into last year that getting 48, or coming out of last year into this year, 4,800 was easily achievable for the year of 2018. But I thought 6,000 was probably out of reach. But I never really came up with a formal, goal per se. I've kind of just been hanging out in this $5,600, $5,700 thought process. So if you think about it that way, and we actually go to, sorry about that. We actually go to this graphic, and here it kind of displays a little bit more as to what the change is year over year. My total income, if I reach this $5,200, is about 50% more than what it was in 2017. So 2017, I ended up with around $3,500. So if I'm able to get this 5,200 or so, that's an increase of 50%, which is pretty phenomenal that I've been able to grow around 70% over the past 2 years and 50% already. Now, if I'm able to increase this to the $5,600 that I want, that's around 60%. How do I get to 70%? Ooh, I'd have to hit the $6,000 range. Okay, interesting enough. I'll see what I can do. But 6,000 is obviously my next big target, because that's around $500 a month in passive dividend income, which is phenomenal. Next year in 2019, you can see I'm rather close if none of my dividends get cut or anything like that. But my hope is easily to get to the $6,000 range in 2019. But I have to make a goal as to what I think I can achieve in 2019. Maybe I'll get to the $7,200 range or something like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at as of today. I've increased my monthly dividend passive income by about $146 on average compared to what it was last year. So that's a big step up. And I've increased my income. It looks like I'm on track to increase it by about 50% year over year, which is pretty phenomenal if you ask me. But I will continue to to try my best and get to closer to the 60 to 70% year over year increase. And if I can maintain that, if I can even just do 20% a year for the next 20 years, I mean, that's just absolutely phenomenal growth. And I would be blessed to be able to do something like that. So thanks for stopping by the channel. Of course, if you guys have any questions or any thoughts as to what you'd like to see in terms of what I'm showing you guys, feel free to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I took a brief hiatus last year, towards the end of last year and beginning of this year, and hopefully you guys have been keeping track that I've made a couple videos, 4 or 5 videos in the last week and a half or so. So I'm trying to get back in the groove and enjoying this because the portfolio is really starting to yield some really good results and really start to come through. I mean, you think about it, close to $500 a month in passive income. That's most people's car payments, and only being around 26 years old. Actually, I'll be 27 next month. That's a lot of a lot of money for a lot of people. If a lot of people would beg for $500 additional a month, $6,000 a year is a lot of money. So very fortunate that I've been able to get here thus far, but it's also been a lot of work trying to save all that money instead of spending it, which living in Houston, you see that quite often. A lot of people spend their money rather than saving it. So keeping up with the Joneses is a big thing from what I've seen down here in Houston, especially in the 20s to 30 year range. So alright guys, well, I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. I will talk to you guys later on, and don't forget to try to converse with me down in the comments. I always try to respond. And yeah, that's basically it. If I don't see you guys or make another video, I will definitely see you guys for May, or at least a 2Q update. So thanks. I'll see you guys soon.